Now, if we multiply this by the variable, what do we get?
Is it 52?
Very close. Look at the remainder again.
He said it before he even stepped fully into the room. The words cut through the house like a blade, sharp with power and habit. His voice carried the weight of boardrooms and closed doors, of people who obeyed without question. The boy froze. The woman beside him did not. The billionaire had come home early, too early, and what he saw in his living room made his chest tighten in a way no market crash ever had. His son was sitting on the floor, legs crossed, sleeves rolled up, eyes focused. Across from him sat the maid, a black woman in a simple uniform, her back straight, her hands moving slowly, carefully. Between them lay a worn notebook, its pages soft with use. The boy was repeating after her, not words, but something deeper, something older. The man felt anger rise first, then confusion, then something far more dangerous, fear, because his son was not playing. He was learning. The woman's name was Lillian Moore. She had learned long ago what it meant to be invisible in rooms like this. She had worked in the Hartwell house for 3 years. 3 years of quiet footsteps on polished floors. 3 years of respectful distance. She knew which doors not to open, which rooms to clean last, which days the boy's father would be gone before sunrise and return long after dark. She knew the smell of fresh money and cold silence. She also knew pain. Lillian carried herself with calm because she had learned that calm was armor. Her hands were steady because once, long ago, they had shaken too much to hold a cup. Her eyes were kind because they had seen things that made kindness a choice, not a weakness. Before this house, before the uniform, before the quiet, Lillian had been someone else. She had been a teacher in a small public school where books were shared and heat did not always work. She had taught children who came to class hungry and left with hope. She had learned to speak with her eyes, her hands, her pauses. When budgets were cut and her school closed, she did not cry in public. She packed her classroom alone, touching every desk like a goodbye. Later came the hospital years, caring for her mother, then burying her. Later came the bills. Later came the job application that did not ask about degrees. It's only availability. And then came this house. The boy Ethan was different from the start. He watched more than he spoke. He listened with his whole body. He followed Lillian from room to room with questions that were soft and curious. Why do you hum when you clean? Why do you look sad at the window? Why do you always fold the towels the same way? She never crossed lines, never offered lessons, never pushed. But one afternoon, when she found him crying quietly on the stairs, she sat beside him. She did not touch him. She did not rush. She waited. Ethan told her about the words at school, about the noise in his head, about how letters danced and sounds blurred, about how his father said he just needed to try harder. Lillian did not correct him. She did not defend the world. She reached into a place she had not visited in years. She taught him with patience, with rhythm, with stories drawn in the air. She taught him to slow his breathing, to feel words instead of chase them. She taught him how to listen to silence. And today, she was teaching him something else. History, not dates. Not names carved into stone, but stories. Hands moving like waves. Gestures shaped like chains breaking. Faces lifting toward light. Asterisk, she taught him about strength without shouting. About dignity without permission. When the billionaire saw them, he did not see lessons. He saw a boundary crossed. He took another step into the room. The floor creaked beneath his shoes. Lillian stopped her hands. Ethan looked up, eyes wide, fear already blooming. The man looked at the notebook, at the careful notes written in uneven letters, at drawings that showed faces holding hands, standing tall. What is this? His voice was quiet now, dangerous. Lillian stood slowly. She did not rush. She did not bow her head. She folded her hands in front of her, the way she always did. She answered with truth, because lies had never protected her. Your son asked to learn. The room seemed to shrink. The air felt thinner. The billionaire's mind raced with rules and titles and lines drawn long before this moment. Employees did not teach. Help did not instruct. Help did not shape his child's mind. He thought of contracts, of image, of control, he also thought, uninvited, of his own childhood, of a father who spoke only in commands, of rooms where curiosity was weakness, of a boy who learned early to be perfect or be alone. He looked at Ethan again, saw the way his son's shoulders were not hunched, saw the focus, the calm dot. Something cracked, but pride does not shatter icily. He told Lillian this was not appropriate, that it was not her place, that there were tutors for this, professionals, people paid to teach. Lillian listened. She always did. When he finished, she nodded once. I understand 3 words. No anger, no plea. She bent to pick up the notebook. Her fingers brushed the page where Ethan had written his name. Without shaking for the first time, she closed it. The billionaire expected relief. Instead, his chest felt heavier. Over the next days, the lessons stopped. The house returned to its usual quiet. Ethan grew quieter too. His eyes dulled. His hands fidgeted. He struggled again with homework that left him frustrated and small, the billionaire noticed. At first he blamed routine, then pressure, then himself, though he would not say it aloud. One evening, passed the living room and saw Ethan staring at the empty floor where he had once sat cross-legged. The boy's lips moved as if remembering something. His hands lifted slightly, then fell. That night the billionaire did not sleep. He thought of power, of money, of all the doors he could open, and none that led to his son's peace. The next morning he asked Lillian to stay after her shift. She stood in the same spot, hands folded, calm. He told her he had spoken to the school, that they had missed something, that his son learned differently. He did not apologize. Not yet. He asked what she had been teaching. Lillian told him about stories, about patience, about seeing children, not fixing them. He listened, truly listened. Days passed, then weeks. Slowly, carefully, the lessons returned. This time with permission, this time with understanding. But the real shift came months later. At a school assembly, Ethan was asked to read aloud. The room was full. Parents watched with polite smiles. Teachers prepared for struggle. Ethan walked to the front. He took a breath. He remembered hands moving like waves. He remembered silence as strength. He read, not perfectly, but bravely, clearly, with his head high. When he finished, there was a pause, then applause, not loud, but full. The billionaire stood last. His hands shook as he clapped. Afterward, parents whispered. Teachers asked questions. Eyes turned to Lillian, standing quietly at the back. Respect shifted in that room. Unseen, but real. Later, the billionaire found Lillian in the kitchen. He did not stand tall this time, sat. He told her thank you, it was not enough. But it was a beginning. He offered her a new role. Educator, consultant, partner. Lillian smiled softly. She accepted on one condition, that every child be seen. The house changed after that. Laughter returned. Learning lived in the open. Silence became safe, and the billionaire learned. Something no deal had ever taught him, that power does not always arrive with noise. The dignity does not ask permission, that the quietest teacher can change a life. Years later, when Ethan would speak about his success, he would not mention wealth first. He would mention the woman who taught him how to listen. Asterisk if this story moved you. Share where you are watching from. Tell us what silent strength means to you. And subscribe for more stories that honor the heroes who change lives without asking to be seen.